What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports, and the Flyers' win streak is snapped after 2 games as they get shut out this afternoon by the Boston Bruins in a rematch of what happened on Tuesday. I guess you could say the Bruins did exactly what the Flyers did to them on Tuesday up in the TD Garden, and this game was just completely unwatchable. Personally, in my opinion, this Flyers team just cannot generate enough offensive chances 5-on-5, and the power play definitely has took a turn for the worse. That came back down to earth. Matvei Michkov cannot do everything to save the power play. Their transition game is horrible. They can't win faceoffs on the power play. They can't bring the puck into the zone. Basically, the entire amalgamation of today's game, the Flyers just could not do anything at 5-on-5. They just couldn't generate anything. Nothing. Boston completely suffocated them. Korpisalo and net for Boston really didn't have to do much, and I still question the people who named the 3 stars of the game that gave Korpisalo the number 1 star when he really didn't do anything in the net. Everything was just flat out easy for him. It's just natural to give the goaltender a number 1 star when they give the shutout. I have no idea. But what I do know is the Flyers from last year, and I'm always going to, bring this up because people some reason just want to, I guess, ignore the fact about that. Last year, the Flyers were supposed to be bad. Last year, the Flyers completely overachieved. Last year, the Flyers were not supposed to be good. They completely overachieved, and maybe a lot of that was credit to who was their goaltender last year, and that was Carter Hart. Carter Hart was, unreal last year to start the year, and won them a lot of games, and he was the reason why the Flyers had the record that they did, basically going into that, stage of the second half. And then the whole, Team Canada thing happened. Carter Hart's gone now, and good riddance to that. And the season really took a downward after that. And that's not to the disrespect of Sam Ersson. That's a lot to put on his plate. Going into the second half, going from a backup option to having to be the number 1 starting goaltender and not having a reliable backup option in that fact. And the team definitely took a hit because of it. And their play definitely took a hit because of it. And, they regressed back to, I guess, what they were supposed to be. And granted, I didn't expect the team to be this putrid 5-on-5, just not being able to score at all, because last year they were a really good 5-on-5 team. They generated on the forecheck, they generated off of the rush, and the power play was really their biggest downfall offensively. Everything is basically regressed for this team. Can't do anything 5-on-5. Power play without Matvei Michkov is an eyesore. Penalty kill is basically the only reason that is still, carrying over from last season, because the penalty kill is still very elite. In that fact, this team, even when they do get chances 5-on-5, even when it seems like they're going to generate something in the offensive zone, it just goes by the wayside. There were so many great passes by Matvei Michkov in today's game where he could have had at least 2 points. He had, I would count, maybe 4 or 5 really good passes where he's setting up somebody in the slot, somebody that has a clear path to the net, driving to the net, and they just completely miss it. I can remember 4 off the top of my head. First period, comes into the zone, finds Travis Sanheim, who has a clear path to the net. As he's going there, gets Korpisalo to move, and Sanheim has a clear wide open net, misses it on the backhand. And then I believe it was in the second period, he set up 2 guys in the slot, I believe. He set up Tyson Forrester, who whiffed on the puck and couldn't get the shot on net. And then he set up Sean Couturier for a couple of those chances, completely missed the net. I'm not sure if Korpisalo even got pieces up there, but, not being able to cash in on these setups, and Michkov's not getting rewarded for it. And he even had a nice chance in the third period where he set up Emil Andre, who was coming in off of the left side, and Korpisalo did in fact make the save. That was probably one of the more dangerous chances on Michkov's. Probably the Sanheim's was the more dangerous chance because he got Korpisalo to move, and he had the wide open net and missed it. But it's just going to the fact that Michkov is finding people, he's finding ways to set them up and gift wrapping them chances to score, and they're not rewarding Michkov for the ability to give them the puck. It's just either the shot they generate just isn't good enough, or they completely miss the net, or it's not even that difficult of a save for the goaltender to make. It's just completely, Michkov probably should have had at least 2 points in this game. And we're probably going to be talking about that a lot all year because this team just can't score. This team cannot score. Morgan Frost cannot score. My God, Morgan Frost sucks, in my personal opinion. I know I'm probably going to get some hate from the Morgan Frost defenders out there. A lot of people out there. Bill Meltzer, probably one of them, because he's a huge Morgan Frost defender. Morgan Frost is not good. He just isn't. He showed some flashes last year of what he's a bottom six type of forward. That's what he is. He's out there on the first line of the power play, the first unit, out there for the faceoff. This dude never wins faceoffs. He just doesn't. It's either he loses the faceoff or he gets kicked out of the faceoff circle. That's all Morgan Frost does on the power play. That's why this team cannot set up, and they're always being forced to transition into the zone, which always sucks. Their entries into the zone on the power plays always sucks. This team dumps and chases, and they don't chase the puck. They don't forecheck. That was something that was the bread and butter of this team last year, and they just completely went away from it. I don't know what the case is. Maybe that is just the team regressing in that fact, but it's weird talking about this, even though I did bring up that last year the team wasn't supposed to be good, and we're probably seeing what the team was originally supposed to be. I still didn't think they would be this putrid because they still have some talented players that should be able to score. Really, they do. Travis Konechny is a couple of back-to-back 30-goal scorer. This dude can't hit the net. Owen Tippett was a 30-goal scorer last year. This dude cannot hit the net whatsoever. Tyson Forrester scored 20 goals last year. Even though he does have 2, he's not generating enough chances. There's just so many things going by the wayside where this team cannot score. They are not a good offensive team. And, as much as we talk about Matvei Michkov, that's why Matvei Michkov is not getting points, because his teammates cannot finish the chances that he's given them. You can go back basically every game and look at Michkov setting up someone in the slot, Michkov setting up someone with wide open space and time to have a clear-cut shot at the net. And basically, either they miss or they somehow don't get the shot off because they take way too long to shoot the puck. And there's so many instances where I see this team in the offensive zone just trying to make the perfect pass. It doesn't look like anybody wants to shoot, or they're too afraid to shoot. They're trying to make the extra pass. They're trying to get a little too pretty because they're trying to do way too much out there. Oh, we can't score on a general chance. I got to make something magical happen for the puck to even go in the net for us. That's what they're doing out there, and it just is not pretty at all. Even going into the game today. Well, not going into it, like stuff that I even bring up from today's game, because today's game offensively for the Flyers, there was just nothing. It was unwatchable, completely unwatchable. Boston did to us what we did to them on Tuesday in the TD Garden. That's basically it there. And one thing that's probably now going to hurt this team is because Sam Ersson is hurt, and we don't know the extent of the injury. All we know is right now it's lower body. And the way everything really happened was he made the save. It went to his far pad, like near his right foot and everything like that. And then eventually had to stop the play because he needed a new blade on his right skate. So they come out, they replace the blade on the skate. And then the next commercial break, you see Ersson talking to the trainer. And then you also see Kolosov come out with his helmet getting stretched out and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, Kolosov goes to the net. Ersson goes to the locker room. And we have no idea what's happening. I'm not sure. Like originally, I thought it was just that, okay, for some reason the skate blade they put on, maybe it just didn't feel right. Maybe Ersson needs a new skate because maybe the thing that holds the blade, maybe that broke, and maybe Ersson just wasn't comfortable with it. But then when I started refreshing Twitter and everything like that, nope, it was Ersson talking to the trainer, and he goes into the locker room, and I believe someone said Ashlyn Sullivan of NBC Sports Philly said during intermission that Ersson is hurt in the locker room, and they're trying to determine what's wrong with him. So yeah, Ersson's hurt. We don't know the extent of it at all. I don't think there's been anything post-game in regards to the extent of the injury. Most likely you won't be able to see, most likely anything you won't see until tomorrow. That's most likely what I would think there. I haven't really seen anything from Flyers' perspective. I think they did post something there. Yeah, injury update. Goaltender Sam Ersson sustained a lower body injury during the Flyers-Boston game and did not return. Yeah, no shit. No shit. So it has to be something with his right foot. Maybe the save that he made, maybe the puck hit somewhere on his foot that was more unprotected than not from his pads. And if that's the case, we're probably talking about something to do with his foot, with his toes or something like that. Maybe there's like a fracture in there from the shot. I have no idea. And if that's the case, we don't know how long he's going to be out. This team is screwed on the fact that they're goaltending. Even though I'm not really going to ridicule Kolosov today, I thought Kolosov was solid. The first goal I definitely wasn't a fan of. The shot, goes off the backboards, and he didn't get over in enough time. The puck squeezes through his 5-hole and into the net for the first goal for Boston. And a lot of these goals that Boston scored was directly after the Flyers had a grade A chance the other way that they couldn't finish on. The first Boston goal followed up that Sanheim chance where he missed the wide open net off the feed from Michkov. I believe one of the chances that they had on the other side in the second period, it was one of the chances that Michkov set up for them for Couturier or Tyson Forrester in the slot. Then, Boston goes back the other way. Marchand behind the net finds someone wide open in the slot, and they just bury it. Complete opposite of what the Flyers have been doing. Marchand finds someone open in the slot. They wire it on net. It goes in. When Michkov does it for the Flyers, they don't finish because they don't know how to hit the fucking net. They don't know how to shoot the puck properly, apparently. And then the third goal for Boston, Flyers decided to pull the goaltender after a commercial break with like 4.5 minutes left in the game. And Marchand just just literally wasn't even looking at the net, just flung the puck up just to get it out of the zone, and it perfectly goes into the net for an empty netter. And that was basically the game sealed off in there. The Flyers just could not generate shots. They only had 20 shots on net in today's game. Just looking at everything, they had 5 shots in the first period, 7 shots in the second, and 8 shots in the third. They just cannot generate shots. They cannot generate offense whatsoever. They get killed in the faceoff circle. They only won 46% of the faceoffs. They did block shots as they always do. They gave the puck away a lot today. They had 15 giveaways, only 5 takeaways. There was just so many instances where passes, like where they pass into the dangerous part of the ice. Everyone in hockey says when you're trying to get your puck out of the defensive zone, don't use the middle of the ice. Don't go east to west. You got to go north south. There were so many instances where this team was going east west, and it resulted in players not being prepared for the pass. Like, there were so many instances where players were just not prepared for passing. The passing was awful, and when the passes did connect, they just didn't look prepared for it whatsoever. That goes back into the transition game on the power play, the entries, just trying to even get the puck out of the defensive zone. This team just doesn't look prepared. They just don't look locked in. They don't look like they're communicating properly. And I don't know what the cause of that is. They just don't look sharp. And maybe that's the result of them being a bad team. Maybe that is the case. Maybe that is the case. And I will continue to bring up that this team has a lot of long-term contracts. They got Sanheim, even though like some of them are not Briere's fault and this front office's fault. Sanheim's contract's not the problem of Briere. Bristolainen's contract's not the problem of Briere. Couturier's contract is not the issue there. But you locked up Owen Tippett long term, and right now he cannot find a net whatsoever. You locked up Travis Konecny long term, and who knows how that's going to end up because the contract doesn't kick in until next season. There's a lot of things right now that is just not going this team's way. And like I said, it's probably to the result and to summary that this team is just not good. And maybe that's the regression from last year. Maybe that's coming back to reality because this team definitely 100% last season overachieved. Even though I still don't think the way they're playing now is what they truly are. I don't think they were ever a bottom of the league type team where they're fighting for top 5 pick in the draft lottery. I don't think they were that type of team. They were probably somewhere in between 7 to 10, 7 to 12 or something like that. But right now they're playing like a bottom 5 team in the league. Like what is their entire record of the year? If I need to refresh that. Yeah, they're tied for last place in the Metro. They have 9 points on the year. They're 4-7-1 tied with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And right now in the Eastern Conference, they're the second to last team because the Pittsburgh Penguins are the worst team in the Eastern Conference. And the Flyers, they are the 5th worst team in the league. Only teams that are behind them are the Pittsburgh Penguins, the San Jose Sharks, the Nashville Predators, and the Chicago Blackhawks. Only separated by 2 points there, basically, from those other teams. So, yeah, the Flyers right now, who knows? And if Sam Ersson is out for an extended period of time, that might hurt the team even more because that means you're going to be seeing Fedotov in net. And we all know what Ivan Fedotov is capable of because he's not capable of much. Even though Kolosov, he wanted to be in the NHL, now he's getting his wish to basically be the starting netminder. So he's going to get his chance to prove himself. And he did have a good game today. No, don't get me wrong. He was not the reason why the Flyers lost this game. He was the only reason why they were involved to begin with. But now you're riding a goaltending tandem of most likely Kolosov and Fedotov. and it's probably not going to be pretty. It is probably not going to be pretty. We always said their goaltending was the biggest question mark going into the year, even though I think Ersson has been fine. He's been really good, actually. But losing him now, it's really going to be questionable. Insanely questionable right now. And if you're looking at their schedule now just coming up, because it definitely does, it doesn't get easier from here. They, 3-game road trip against, some 3 tough teams there. The Carolina Hurricanes on Tuesday in Carolina, I believe they're 7-2-0. They play the Tampa Bay Lightning on the road on the 7th, and they play the Florida Panthers, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, on the 9th. So yeah, definitely not getting easier from here. Play San Jose. That's probably the lightest, game on your schedule here. Even though you do play San Jose, Chicago, and Nashville this month, you've still got, tough teams you're going to always play because of the way you're playing. So who knows? Who knows what this team is capable of? I have no goddamn clue. It just that is the fact right there. So that's basically it for the recap, because there's really not much else with the game. The game was an eyesore. The game was boring. The game was nothing. And that's also a big knock on this team. They're boring. They're not fun to watch at all because they just can't generate anything. Last year, the past couple of years, they were at least fun to watch. This team is not fun to watch at all because they just look that bad at everything besides the penalty kill. That's basically it. So we do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline. So it is from Sean. Let's get to that to see what he has to say on this Flyers loss right here. So let's see. Let's get to that, and here we go.
This game pretty much went the way we thought it was going to go, right? I mean, Boston coming in, needing a win, having been embarrassed at home by the Flyers a couple days earlier. I mean, talent prevails in this one. This was never competitive. The Flyers are not built to play come from behind hockey. They have no creators and they have no finishers other than Michkov. You could give Morgan Frost 10 pucks to shoot at an open net, and I swear he'd go 0 for 10. Bobby Brink had a couple near misses. Hit the post on one. But again, for the most part, it was total domination by the Bees. And then, no pun intended, insult to injury. Now you lose Ersson, and that's a big loss. You don't know what the extent of that is, how long it's going to be. I thought Kolosov, for the most part, played well, but as well as Ersson was playing, timing is everything, and that's bad timing for the Flyers. Now they'll go out to the Florida-Carolina trip and probably go 0 for 3, but they are what we thought they were, an average to below average hockey team.
Yeah, even though I don't think the most of Philadelphia thought they were below to an average to below average hockey team. A lot of people were expecting this team to find a way to squeak into the playoffs. And I did warn some people that this team was most likely going to regress because they were just completely playing head over heels last year and they were completely overachieving. I think a lot of people raised their expectations a little too extreme. In my opinion, it definitely wasn't on the terms of winning a Stanley Cup, but it was just like you're expecting the team to take major strides when they're still very far away. This team was supposed to be bad last year. They completely overachieved. And that, everyone against us mentality, it only lasts so long when teams start to figure you out, basically. So this is what they truly are, I guess. And they're more of a lottery team than not. And it's going to be a very long season in that fact. And yeah, timing is everything with the Ersson injury because he has been playing fantastic in the past few games. So yeah, timing is everything with that. I'm not sure. Kolosov, he was fine today, but I'm not sure how long that's going to hold up, especially with the extent of whatever Ersson's injury is. It's most likely a foot injury, whatever the fact is. My personal opinion, I think it could be a fracture in his toes or something like that. That's what I just think that's the case with the way the shot went off his foot. Maybe it was more in like an unprotected area of his skate. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure of that fact. But Raiden Kolosov and Fedotov, yeah, that's not going to be pretty. That is not going to be pretty. So, it's going to be a long season. That's what the case is. So, that'll do it for today, everybody. I appreciate you all for tuning in. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next with the Fly Guys. They don't play until Tuesday in Carolina, so we'll see what happens there. Tomorrow we got Eagles Jaguars, so we'll focus on that. And yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Do not pass it up. Appreciate you all for tuning in as always, and I'll see you next time.